The eyes of the world watched as a 19-year-old Kylian Mbappe became the second teenager in history to score in a World Cup final. The comparisons to Pele were instant. A new face for football had been born. Yet beneath the lightning speed, the million-dollar smile, and the record-breaking transfer fees lays a story few have heard, one defined by a remarkable self-denial, a childhood sacrifice to ambition, a life engineered to produce the perfect footballer. This is the untold story of Project Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe's odyssey started in Bondy, a suburb of Paris, just 11 kilometers from the Stade de France. But that was a deceptive proximity to greatness. Bondy was no paradise. The neighborhood, beset by crime and violence, posed threats at every turn. For many young men, the streets of Bondy presented those two paths: succumb to the environment or escape it. Kylian's father, Wilfried Mbappe, who's also a football coach, understood the hard realities. For him, football wasn't just a game, it was salvation. Little did he know his decision to immerse his son in the sport would not only change Kylian's life, but rewrite football history itself. Like the 1998 World Cup, which France won in his birth year, Kylian was born at the right time. His Algerian mother had played professional handball, and his Cameroonian father worked as a football coach, so being athletic was in his blood. But what distinguishes Mbappe's tale from that of other gifted and, yes, young players is what followed next. While most children basked in the delights of birthday parties or simply went about a typical childhood, little Kylian's life unfolded according to a different time frame altogether. At just 6 years old, when most children were learning to read, Kylian was already enrolled at AS Bondy under his father's watchful eye. His obsession with football became all-consuming. Teammates recall how he would literally sleep with a football, his head resting on it as he dreamed of future glory. What few know is that Kylian never had a normal childhood. While his peers went to traditional schools, Kylian was homeschooled, a tactical move which enabled his parents to structure his entire education around football evolution. That's the ugly truth nobody wants to say out loud. Kylian Mbappe wasn't simply a gifted kid who liked soccer. He was the target of a deliberate project. Everything about his upbringing was fine-tuned to yield a football star. Where a typical childhood would involve friends at birthday parties or first days at school, Mbappe's rewards were footballing, traveling to England, and rooming with professional players. His parents had meetings with his idols, Thierry Henry, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Zinedine Zidane. These weren't just exciting moments for a young fan, they were deliberate exposures, chances for the young Mbappe to take stock of his future and learn from the best in the world. At the age of 12, Mbappe's remarkable skills drew the attention of scouts from Clairefontaine, France's elite national football academy. This invitation represented a major crossroads, an opportunity that would pull him further away from regular life and further into elite athletic development. At Clairefontaine, Mbappe's skills blossomed amid France's best and brightest talents. The regime was rigorous: technical training, tactical education, and physical conditioning, at a time when other children his age were dealing with the typical difficulties of adolescence. Such is the existence that underscores the exceptional cost of greatness. Sure, Mbappe received soccer superiority, but he gave up on the foundational moments that most people would deem necessary to childhood evolution. The early manifestations of what Project Mbappe could produce were first seen in the footballing world at AS Monaco. What appeared to the casual observer as an overnight descent was in fact the result of years of careful groundwork. Mbappe's senior debut, aged just 16 years and 347 days, came against Caen on the 2nd of December 2015. 2 months later, he netted his first professional goal against Troyes to become Monaco's youngest ever goal scorer, surpassing Thierry Henry in the process. Mbappe's breakout season came in 2016 and 2017. At 18 years old, his statistics were staggering: 26 goals and 44 appearances. But it was in the Champions League that Mbappe made his international name. He scored key goals against Manchester City in the round of 16, helping Monaco through. He scored a hat-trick over 2 legs in the quarterfinals against Borussia Dortmund. Even in a loss to Juventus in the semis, it was Mbappe who provided Monaco's one and only goal. This was not talent exposing itself. This was the bonfire of the vanities of a childhood spent locked in the basement, churning through drills and memorizing the rules of football excellence, the reward for a lifetime of singular devotion and sacrifice. When PSG signed Mbappe in 2017 for €145 million and €35 million in add-ons, making him the most expensive teenager ever, it was never merely about the player. They were investing in a football miracle. Mbappe continued his evolution at PSG. His debut season generated handsome numbers, 21 goals and 16 assists in 46 appearances. But it was his World Cup performance in 2018 that solidified his status as football's next global superstar. In Russia, Mbappe became the second teenager ever to score in a World Cup final after Pele and helped France land a second world title. The comparisons to the all-time greats were no longer speculative. They were reality. The numbers kept coming. 39 goals and 17 assists in 43 appearances in 2018 through 2019. In 2019 through 2020, his campaign was littered with pandemic disruptions, but he netted 30 goals and registered 18 assists in 37 appearances. The 2020 through 21 season was also when he recorded 42 goals and 11 assists in 47 games, his first season with over 40 goals. But few realize how much Mbappe's power at PSG extended beyond performance. By the time he signed his extension in 2022, he wasn't just about to become football's highest earner. He was said to have been gaining unprecedented power over club decisions. Trust me, this story only gets more interesting. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on all our new videos coming about football's largest stars as well as their untold stories. Project Mbappe, when the dust settled from the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, had produced more than a superstar. It had produced a talisman, a symbol, an athlete with the ability to hold his country on his shoulders on the biggest stage. In a final that will be talked about for generations, Mbappe became the first man since England's Geoff Hurst in 1966 to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final. Though France lost to Argentina in penalties, Mbappe went home with the Golden Boot for scoring the tournament's most goals, 8. That remarkable performance was not simply raw talent coming into its own. It was the culmination of a life wholly designed around football success. Every sacrifice, every unconventional childhood moment, every cold-eyed choice by his parents and other stewards coalescing in a single moment on a global platform. But what is the dark truth behind Mbappe's success no one wants to talk about? It's not a scandal or controversy in the conventional sense. It's the unsettling truth that the making of a talent like Mbappe came at the expense of a normal childhood in every other respect. Kylian Mbappe was not allowed to be only a 6-year-old child who liked to play soccer. He became the linchpin in a project to produce the perfect footballer. His education, his social experiences, and indeed his entire life shaped around maximizing his output on the field. While other children were developing varied interests or facing the standard challenges of growing up, Mbappe was being forged into a soccer machine, his course toward adulthood restricted to a single purpose. And we see now, this is the cost of greatness. A boyhood traded for football brilliance. With Mbappe at a career crossroads, his anticipated transfer to Real Madrid marks not only the next chapter, but also the latest calculating step in a journey that's been mapped since childhood. The exclusion from PSG's first team, the offers from Saudi Arabia said to be worth hundreds of millions of euros that he turned down, these are just the latest distractions on a journey that's always been all about football immortality. For all his various successes, World Cup winner, Golden Boot winner, and multiple League One titles, there is one glaring absence from Mbappe's cabinet: the Champions League trophy. This is probably what fuels his ambition to go to Real Madrid, the club that has more than anyone else. Will he finally lift the Champions League? Will he take on the Ballon d'Or, which has eluded him? The answers will come in time. But one thing we can be sure of is that the remarkable project which started on the streets of Bondy will continue to play out on the biggest stages of world football. Kylian Mbappe's story asks challenging questions of us about how talent is developed in the modern era of sports. Was the extraordinary athlete it turned out worth the price of normal childhood? Is this the cost all transcendent talents must bear? Behind the searing speed, the ruthless finishing, and the luminous smile lies a truth both inspiring and unsettling. A life wholly customized for soccer stardom from the youngest of ages. So the next time you see Mbappe seem to glide past an opponent as if they were standing still, or finish with the composure of a man twice his age, just remember what it is you're witnessing. Not just extraordinary natural talent, but the product of a childhood sacrificed on the altar of football excellence. If you enjoyed this in-depth analysis of Mbappe's inspiring journey, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Let us know which football star you want to see a video on next. Thanks for watching.